One of the biggest exhibits at the Lake Superior Railroad Museum is Depot Square. Depot Square surrounds the entire museum. This is episode number 14 of our coming to you during a closed time for the museum, in a closed down depot, in a closed down city, in a closed down state. We hope that you are doing well. Depot Square surrounds the entire museum perimeter, and kind of like a frame holds a picture, think of Depot Square as the frame that holds all the trains in place and highlights them, gives them extra meaning and makes them jump out even more. And the realism of Depot Square is what makes it so exciting. Joining me now is Curator Emeritus Tom Gannon. Tom was curator at the time, is now a member of the Board of Directors for the Lake Superior Railroad Museum, and Tom is responsible for building everything you see at Depot Square. How did the idea come about?
I believe, from what I understand, that they actually thought of doing something like this right when they started the planning for the depot renovation as a whole. And then later on, they decided that the original idea wouldn't work, and maybe we could do something inside the Railroad Museum space.
So, when it came time to build this, who all was involved in designing it anyway?
Well, the design was primarily mine, and that there were a committee that helped to decide what businesses we were going to include. They also looked over to see what the architecture just generally looked like. They weren't that involved in the details, but there was a committee that helped to put it all together.
What's neat is some of the great techniques that you had to develop and invent so that you could build all this. Give us an example.
Well, in the building behind us there, the theater, it's all a concrete facade. But in order to make some of the decorations that you see towards the top especially, a pattern had to be made. And then from that pattern, a negative cast is taken, and then concrete is poured into that cast to create the individual pieces. And then they were attached to a wooden substructure to create a stone front.
Many of the facades at Depot Square, of course, are of brick, but we know now that they're made of concrete, and this is a time before Z-brick. So how did you make concrete look like red brick?
Well, actually, the whole technique is based on putting stucco on a house. That's the same principle. You put on 2 or 3 layers of material, and that's what a stucco job looks like. What we did was then take a tool which allowed us to cut a line to create where the mortar line would be on the bricks. And so the bricks are actually not absolutely the right size, but they're certainly close enough that they look real good.
And these are all exact businesses from downtown Duluth at what year?
Well, the whole idea was to make the 1910 was the key date. Unfortunately, already by 1910, downtown Duluth had an awful lot of big buildings. And so that while the businesses are represented are Duluth businesses, some of the architecture came from other places because we had to find a suitable facade that would work within the space limitations.
Tom, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate all the information. I congratulate you on this magnificent work, and thank you and the whole crew for doing it. Well, thanks to Tom, now we know how Depot Square was built. More importantly, though, how about the stories of all the individual businesses that make up Depot Square? They're as exciting as what Tom had to share with us, and we'll do that on part 2 of our Depot Square experience tomorrow. So join us tomorrow as we tell you about the businesses that make up Depot Square and their wonderful and unique history. In the meantime, between now and tomorrow, please wash your hands, cover your coughs, don't touch your face. If you are sick, stay home. And we're doing it. We're taking care of each other.